Hey, this is Rustin with Metalholic and the Examiner, and with us, Jon Schaffer. Iced Earth, how are you doing, brother?
Good, how are you?
Absolutely wonderful. It's nice to get you back to our neck of the woods. I don't know how long it's been since you guys have been here.
We've never been here.
I was going to say, that's a big, Motorhead was just here for the first time in, what, 37 years?
Yeah.
So we're getting a lot of bands here that have never been here before.
Yeah, it's cool because with supporting Volbeat, we've reached a lot of new markets in the States that we haven't played before. So,
well, I was going to say it's a pretty eclectic lineup. I mean, because you, Hell Yeah, and Volbeat are all, hard rock and metal, but very distinct styles and stuff, very different.
Yeah, it's cool. It's been a good package, and all the guys are great. Michael and I are very good friends, so it's great for us to be able to spend some good quality time together on the road. And we've been wanting to do this for a while, so it's.
I was going to say, we're coming to the States. Hey, can we come with? We've been wanting to do this, so.
Yeah, and we're having a lot of fun, so it's cool. It's for Iced Earth, who's never really been. There's so very few bands we've ever supported.
Right.
Not because we didn't want to, but there's politics involved and that kind of stuff. And a lot of when you get support positions on tours, and so for us to play in front of a Volbeat and Hell Yeah audience, we always have our hardcore fans there, but it's definitely expanding the horizons, which is the whole point. So it's great.
Absolutely. Now, you've been expanding your horizons a little bit. The new album, Dystopia, that came out last year, phenomenal album, one of the best of the year. You guys have really sort of branched out and done a little bit more with that album. Do you consider that a maturation process of you personally, or the growth of the band, or something you sort of wanted to do? Or
well, I think it's a little bit of all that, but it's also realizing that we're in order for Iced Earth to be relevant, we need to be touring. We need to get the music out there. The industry's changing a lot, and we've had a difficult decade prior to this. So, we're on the attack now, and there's the right group of guys that are together to make that happen. From a band standpoint, crew, management, it's a good thing that we have going. So, we're literally taking the band to many places around the world that we haven't been. Whether it's a lot of Eastern European countries that we hadn't made it to. We played in Russia, we played in Istanbul, Turkey, and Cyprus, and China, and Australia, and a lot of these places that we've never been, and now we're even getting into new territory in the States and in Canada. And if you look at the back of the tour shirt, it's pretty impressive. We've done, by the end of this run, we'll have done 120 dates since November 1st last year.
Right. And I know you guys aren't slowing down anytime soon.
No, we're planning on. We've got more dates that we're announcing for Europe here very shortly, and we're working on some other stuff and support slots in North America. So hopefully we can get that.
Right. I'm sort of talking this weekend, or this holiday weekend, whatever you want to call it, with everybody about the Randy Blythe thing, getting their take on what's going on with that. And just, it sort of brings me back to what happened with Dimebag, and then, what's going on with Randy now. It's like, where do fans have to start taking responsibility for their actions and their behavior?
Yeah, I like Randy a lot. He's a great guy. I really feel bad for what he's going through. And I saw some videotape, and I'm not convinced, that there was any wrongdoing there. You can't fucking charge a stage and keep doing that kind of stuff after what happened to Dime and expect people to not. And it's not even that anybody really overreacted or anything. It's just normal. This stuff happens at shows all the time. So, it sucks.
Well, you figure you come to a metal show, people are stage diving, they're crowd surfing. They're doing all sorts of stuff, trying to jump up on the stage, doing the mosh pits and everything. It's a very physical type of musical genre, and people know that there's going to be...
There's consequences sometimes.
Yeah. How do you keep jumping up on a stage? And when you jump up on a stage, don't you, that security's going to throw you off. So how's it different if the artist you're rushing at pushes you away and off, and you get hurt?
Yeah. Well, it's not. It shouldn't matter. I've seen so many times where I'm like, oh my God, like bodies just come flying over the barricade, and okay, the security guys usually catch them, but if there's a hole and somebody, I see it a lot, and a lot of these guys are so wasted they get up and they're like, and they still keep coming, and I'm like, you're gonna feel that tomorrow, dude.
Absolutely. I was just watching it when we were standing in front of the pit for Slayer yesterday. There's like 3 or 4 times as many people as they used to have in front of these shows, and they're all there to catch these crowd surfers that are coming out.
Yeah.
And half my shots got ruined from getting smacked by somebody's leg coming over the, and that's all they do, just constantly back and forth like it's, some sort of a theme park or something.
Yeah.
So the DVD, you guys are going to be putting out a DVD. What's going on with that?
Well, we're going to film August 19th in Cyprus, and we're playing in an old ancient theater. It's really cool. It's been witness to gladiatorial events and theater from the Greek, Roman, and Byzantine empires. It's been there for thousands of years, and it's a cool setting. I think it's going to be nice and intimate, and the Cypriot crowd is awesome. I mean, we played there for the first time I think it was in December last year, and it was just amazing. And we were looking for a place to film a new DVD, and considering a lot of places around the world, and there were a lot of great markets, but we all because of the history and because of what they were offering us there and the kind of theater and everything, we thought, well, this could be a really special addition to the Ice Earth catalog, so it's gonna be cool.
Excellent. Probably early next year, maybe spring.
Yeah, I think spring is realistic, because by the time we get it filmed and do any kind of post production and get it, there's no way it'd be out.
Yeah,
there's no way that'll happen. So yeah, it's kind of up in the air when the label wants to release it, but.
Assuming the world doesn't end in December, as they say it will.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We got the biggest election in world history coming up. We got the zombie apocalypse happening.
Yeah.
You never know what might happen. So you're a very savvy guy. I mean, I don't know how political you are or anything, but what do you think of what's going on in the country right now?
I think it's a disaster. I mean, it's a disaster waiting to happen, and I think we have the worst criminal gang of politicians you could imagine, whether they're Republicans or Democrats.
Exactly. Everybody wants to blame one side or the other, and it's like
joke.
Bush and Obama have got to be the two worst presidents I've ever seen.
Terrible. I mean, and Clinton was too. They're all criminals, man. They've all been traitors. They really are. They've sold us out, and the people just sit back and let the television, dictate reality when it doesn't have anything to do with reality.
Right.
And it's. But I think the American people are waking up. It's a slow process, and
can we turn things around at this point? Or are we too far gone?
Well, no, we can definitely turn things around. The problem is getting people to accept the fact that we've been deceived on a scale that's like very Hitlerian, and that's the problem. And people coming to grips with the level of propaganda that we're faced with. I mean, when you really understand the system here and the fact that the Wall Street banksters are the ones that run this country, the politicians are complete puppets. They're total traitorous pieces of filth. They have no power. They are doing the bidding of a very shadowy elite group of people, and these people are involved in getting us into a lot of wars that are very unconstitutional and immoral. And there's and there's such a level of propaganda where the people are literally kind of in a trance. And I think it's going to get way worse before it gets better. But I think the big crux of the matter for the American people is to start understanding money. We got to understand how money's created, especially in this fiat currency system we have, and learn and reconnect with what it means to be an American, to the founding principles and what our responsibilities are, and what the idea that the original idea was against dishonest monetary policy. That's what we were fighting against, and it's what we're still fighting against. It's been the battle that our country's been waged in since the beginning, and but the people have become dumbed down and distracted, and so the public school system's a nightmare. All these things that there's been like a slow erosion of everything that was good about the country, and it's become this filthy, disgusting, bloated empire that is going to crash. There's no question.
Thank you, MTV and Jersey Shore.
Yeah, I mean, dude.
And Kardashian family.
Exactly. So there's tons of reasons, but it's sloth. This kind of stuff happens when people get. When a nation becomes very prosperous, or at least if it's perceived prosperous. I mean, the only thing the American people really have is a shitload of debt. 16 trillion and counting. How's that make you feel? It's a disaster. So it's the thing is, man, we're never going to look to be able to. The people have got to stop thinking that there's going to be a guy on a white horse that's going to ride in from D.C. and save everything. It ain't going to happen. You got to do it at your community level. You got to educate yourself. You got to support each other, root out corruption at a local level, and then maybe we can just let the federal government fall, which is what needs to happen, because it's completely criminal and out of control.
When they were first looking at putting Obama in office, I made some references to a Hitler-type atmosphere and everybody, you know, oh, you're a racist pig and all that good stuff, but it's starting to come true now.
Of course it is.
But, you know, I've been saying that we may be well leading towards another civil war.
Yep.
States starting to secede from the Union.
Which they should.
You know, I mean, do you see any of that actually happening, especially if Obama gets reelected?
Well, I think it's possible, and the thing is, it's not going to make a damn bit of difference if Romney gets elected.
Yeah.
You know, it won't. You'll get some different rhetoric. The agenda may slow down a little bit, but the fact is, the system is on a fast track towards totalitarianism.
Right.
It's a historical fact. We are repeating so many things that have gone on, and I just look at my countrymen and I'm like, what are you waiting for? What's the deal? You know, stop the tribalism. Let's get back to the Bill of Rights and the idea of liberty and prosperity for all people, not for any select group, but we just have a bunch of corporatist, fascist pigs running this country. And I don't care if they cloak themselves in the Republican suit or the Democrat suit. It's the same shit. You know,
yeah, where's the common sense part of it?
Dude, exactly. Well, that's the thing that's good is that, you know, we're talking about this now, and there's a lot of people that are. There's a lot of good people, and this liberty movement is a worldwide issue. It's like, I see it. I mean, I've met people in China, I've met people all over South America, in Europe, you know, I mean, in Canada, there's Mexico. There's good people that are educating themselves and trying to get other people to wake up and trying to turn things around. And I think we have a shot, but I do think it's going to get really ugly first.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, before we get out of here, just for fun, on a much lighter note, and because if I don't ask this question, my cameraman's going to cry. I first asked this question to Marty Friedman back in his Megadeth days. Whose bathwater would you most like to drink?
Oh, yeah. Never really thought of that. You know, back in the day, probably like Daisy Duke or Farrah Fawcett. You know? But yeah, I don't know. I'm not into it. I'm not into bathwater. It sounds like a really bad idea.
Yeah. You've reached that point in your life where you know none of it's that good that
right.
I need to drink to get to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So last question then. Do you recall the first album you ever bought that sort of made a difference for you?
Oh, of course, Kiss Alive, the day it came out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love this, man.
It changed my life, dude. I mean, you know, I was into Kiss because my older sister was, but I was 7 years old when I bought it, and I wanted to be the first to have Alive, you know. So I went out and got it, and it was, you know, it was just that first album that you just stare at the art, you know, and listen to it 1,000 times and wear it out. And so that was a big one, yeah.
Back when we actually had albums to open and just stare at and everything. Jon Schaffer of Iced Earth, thanks so much for taking the time. The new album, Dystopia. Make sure you get out there, buy it. Don't illegally download it.